Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
The Rita Cosby Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Feisty, fearless, and fair. She's an Emmy-winning journalist from the White House to war zones, telling all sides of the story. This is the Rita Cosby Show.
I know your name is Rita, 'cause your perfume is smelling sweet. Since when I saw you down on the floor.
Breaking news.
And tonight on the Rita Cosby Show, in a little bit, in about a half an hour, we will get an update on negotiations between the Long Island Railroad Union and the MTA ahead of a possible strike that could happen within less than an hour. It's a big deal because it's about 300,000 to 400,000 different commuters take the L.I.R.R, as it's known, and it would definitely be an enormous mess. So many things going on. There's a Bruce Springsteen concert coming up. There's the subway series. You got all these different things going on where people are taking the subway to and fro. And we will get an update from the international president of the Transport Workers Union. He's going to be joining us to let us know, indeed, if there has been any movement and maybe if a strike could be averted. Meantime, everybody is talking, of course, about threats to the homeland. We talked about this big terror threat that was foiled today with this individual with ties to Iran. And a lot of people are wondering, what the heck are some people doing in our country, whether it's those who are pushing for pro-Hamas views on college campuses or elsewhere. And listen to what Congressman Randy Fine, Republican of Florida, had to say.
I'm Congressman Randy Fine, and I'm disgusted by the Muslim terror pogrom that we just saw in New York City. Muslim terrorists went into a Jewish neighborhood to terrify everybody that they could. So I think there's three things we need to do. Number one, we need to deport every one of those people who's not an American. We need to get them the hell out of our country. Second, if you're a paperwork American who lied to become a citizen in the last 20 years, we need to revoke your citizenship and ship you home as well. And third, we need to stop letting people like this into our country. Stop immigration now. I can promise you this, I'll be fighting Muslim terror every day that I'm here in Congress.
Wow, that is quite a statement. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. And you are listening to The Rita Cosby Show. Let's go to Alan in Queens, line 5. Go ahead, Alan, your thoughts tonight.
Thank you so much for keeping me company on a very long ride home from Massachusetts. I love you, Rita. Your energy's
Alan, I love
incredible.
you too. I'm trying to keep you wide awake because that's a long drive.
You know, it was 4 days of bliss at the Brimfield Antique Show and Flea Market.
Oh, how fun.
So it was... Have you ever been?
No, but it sounds great. I love stuff like that. That sounds fun. So now you're on your way back. So what do you think about all the stuff going on in the world, Alan?
I think what in our lifetime we have lived is the greatest cumulative theft of wealth and brain power committed on the Western world by the Chinese. And the greatest, I think, president in American history literally sat down the victims of that crime, the most powerful people in the West, who have not been able to even, subpoena call into court because China does not play by our rules. But when you have a leader like Trump, he literally wrinkles the ability of a politician. He, Rita, in front of our eyes, is twisting the paradox. He used the same methodology that he used in the Clinton debate by bringing the Bill Clinton victims and seating them in the front row to the meeting in China. But in this particular case, they now represent innovation and brain power. And what a flex move by Musk by bringing X, because the Chinese think in centuries, not fiscal quarters. And I think by bringing X, he de-escalates the meeting, but he also speaks to the Chinese understanding of the next generation. And I don't know why so many people are thinking about this at such a low level. I frankly think...
But you know, Alan, you know why? You know why? Because they want to undermine Trump. It's like they don't want to, and you could tell the way that he was received by China. I mean, it's clear that China fears Trump. They didn't fear Obama. They didn't fear Biden, right?
I don't know that we need them to fear him. I think that we need them to respect each other.
I agree.
You don't want, and I think Trump, the schmoozer, the New York schmoozer that he is literally in front of the world and the history books, by the way.
Yeah, no doubt. This is amazing, Alan. Don't you think? I mean, what we've seen, what he's done, think about, in such a brief time in the second term has been lightning speed. And I agree. I think he's going to go down in the history books. There is no doubt about it. Obama's
conduct in literally lobbying the history books at the same time shows you what a despicable thumbprint he's going to be in the history book, because he's literally, as Trump is twisting the hands of time, Obama's saying, oh, we did it so much better, when they didn't do anything, Rita. We've just watched an albatross in politics for the last 40 years, and the first real politician of our lifetime isn't actually getting the accolades. And you know what? I think Trump should be frustrated at every level with the media, with the critique. I don't know. I just think this was the biggest flex move ever. And then to toast and welcome Xi to the White House. Who said that we need to be enemies with China?
I agree. If we can be competitors versus enemies, that would be great for the world. That would no doubt be great for the world. Alan, you're terrific, and you got to drive carefully because you got a long ride ahead. And we love you and we appreciate you, Alan. Thanks so much. And I want to play, by the way, because Alan was talking about China. Earlier on Katz and Cosby, we talked with Brian Kilmeade, of course, the host, of course, on 77 WABC, but also on Fox News. And he gave a great perspective of Trump and China and Trump and Iran. Take a listen.
Well, what really happened in China? Well, there's one guy that works 80 hours a week for Fox News and WABC. We have Brian Kilmeade with us, and there's nobody that knows this situation better than Brian. Well, Brian, what the heck is going on? Give us your pulse of what happened in China with the president and what's happening.
So I just think it's funny how this whole thing evolved. China always prided themselves over, we're going to profile who we're dealing with, and we're going to understand what their hot buttons are and where the no-go lanes are and figure out how to push and prod. And that dates back to Nixon and Ford, and they tried to find people's weaknesses, which George W. Bush won, and and they thought, okay, Trump's easy, really simple guy. All you have to do is flower him with praise, with pageantry, and he'll be pliable. But he bought it. He thanked them, gave effusive praise, and then he hit them with the hardest tariffs imaginable. And then he ends up calling them out and breaking up relations after COVID. And they go ahead and move forward with a trade deal. And they think to themselves, I think, well, at least he's done. In 2020, we don't have to deal with this guy who's been very hard on us, calling us out on our trade practices. And then he's back. And now I think they say to themselves, yeah, he likes to be pandered to. He likes to be flattered. But he also is not going to affect what he does. And I think that is a more practical approach. While he enjoyed the pageantry, he's still a business guy that brought 30 CEOs, business people with him, when the Nixons and the Bushes, 41 and 43, would bring leading politicians, biggest names, would bring Kissinger along or anybody else. President goes, no, I don't need those guys. In fact, I don't even need my commerce secretary. I'm going to bring my CEOs, and I'm looking to do deals. My sense is, John, they talking about the Boeing deal of 200 planes, and people say, well, it should have been 500. Well, they're making their own planes now, so 200 is a good order. I think they're going to be talking about different deals with those 30, but you don't just cut it on the spot. And he doesn't feel pressure to say, I got 9 deals on my 30 guys, and Tesla's going to be expanding. I think that he is really looking to create a relationship and de-escalate, but at the same time, look at what he's doing with Venezuela. Look what he's doing with Cuba. Where was John Radcliffe yesterday? He was in Cuba offering them, letting them know that we have a case being built on Raul Castro, meaning you're about to get the Maduro treatment, and you can get $100 million in aid if you give up your government, let us put a guy in there with some democratic principles, and that is these are all outlets for China. So the president could be nice and flatter, and I do think he likes President Xi, but what is he doing? He is actually kicking them out of Argentina, Bolivia, as well as now the latest one is Chile. And then you realize they're losing influence in all those Belt and Road programs, and at the same time, he really flat out flipped Venezuela. So now he comes to Iran, and it's a little bit harder than he thought, but at which time he talks about it and says, oh, yeah, you want to help? It's okay. Thanks for the offer. I don't need your help. And what his answer is, you must really relate to, because it's business. If I accept a favor, then I got to give a favor back. I really don't want to do that. So I think that what you had here is a guy that they understand each other. They're going to be able to talk to each other. And the reality of China's economy is not good. Here's why. They're not growing at the rate they need to grow. Here's why. 20% of their graduates are unemployed. They also have a situation where they are a decreasing deflation country. So they do not have enough people to fill their jobs. There was a single male policy. They were killing infants if their first baby was a girl because they wanted it to be a boy. And because of that, after 40 years, they have no women and they got a decreasing population. This is a declining power. And I think Trump realizes it, and I think that she realizes that Trump realizes it. So I think the ground has been set. The respect is there. He showed them respect. That's their big thing. And I think that this is going to be a very interesting next 6 months. But now the story is going to be what happens in Iran. That was the semifinals. The finals is Iran.
And you're right. I think what he knows that the most important thing to President Trump is the November elections. And it depends how China wants to play this whole situation. Do they want President Trump in as full power, or do they want the Democrats to reduce his power? And Brian, I mean, you're in the same place as I am. What's your pulse on that?
Well, I see. That's the thing. They got to watch it, because if they play a role in it, let's say decide we are not going to renew our pledge to deliver these rare magnets that they have and the other rare earth, that would send our economy into a tailspin. They play that card, and the president will know, I'm staying here for 4 years. Whether I have Congress or not, you're trying to go out of your way to make sure I don't. So then the president will have to recalculate this whole thing. My sense is that they return the visit in September. I think it's going to be relatively smooth. I think that judging by how Iran comes out, and if we could turn that around as a country, not turn that around, finish them off as a country, we watch oil and gas prices go down. And I think that you're going to see the President of the United States do something not many people thought possible, but it should have been done earlier. One of our best customers, John, I know you in the refinery business might appreciate that, is going to be China. They're going to realize there's really no downside to buying oil and gas from us, except you got to pay full price. And it's closer, and it's dependable. And you got natural gas, I mean, what we can do, and it's a quicker trip. And that would be something else that America could do good, solid business with. But I do worry, John, about the tech center. I do worry about bankers setting up in there. I just don't believe that China can be depended on to not steal our IP. I think it's in their unofficial constitution, and I do worry too about crackdowns. 1 minute they might decide to arrest 3 vice presidents at a bank because they don't like some made-up charge, and I don't think we want to get involved in that. To me, I'd let Canada go do that. I wouldn't mind increased relations, but I want to keep it on the. I like to keep it in a way that it doesn't make ourselves, it doesn't compromise our security.
Brian Kilmeade, let's keep our eyes open. These are serious things. We're on the eve of success or the eve of disaster, or one or the other. Hopefully we're on the eve of success. Thank you so much, Brian, for giving us your opinion. I think you're pretty correct on everything you've said, and let's pray for America.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, John. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you.
Wow, what a great discussion and great perspective by Brian Kilmeade. Let's go to Jim in Boston real quick, line 4. Go ahead, Jim, your thoughts tonight.
Oh, thank you, Rita. When it comes to Taiwan, I think it's really important to remember that this was our ally in the Second World War. This government was our ally. They helped us defeat Japan.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? That's an interesting perspective because you're right. Things change up and down. And you look at, just as you talked about, at that point, obviously, in World War II, Japan was certainly not our ally. They were our adversary. And now we have very close ties to them. So that's a very good point. Jim, thank you very much. Let's go to Nat in the Bronx. Line 3 real quick. Go ahead, Nat.
Regarding the recent trip to China by Trump, you really have to blame the corporations in the United States for getting us entangled and getting us commingled with the Chinese economy to the extent that we are now. Because if there were ever a war, for example, over Taiwan between China and the United States, the U.S. economy would suffer trillions in damage overnight. Why? Because of one company. It's called TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation.
Yeah, you hit it on the head, Nat. You're right. That semiconductor, those are so valuable, and they run everything, those semiconductors. And I'll tell you, I agree with you that I am deeply, deeply concerned. I know that's one thing that President Trump is talking about is increasing production here in America. So we're not reliant on anywhere, whether it's Taiwan or anywhere, for the reason you're talking about, but just we should be dependent, just like oil, but drill, baby, drill. That's been a big policy. So his philosophy of made in America is also really key. Great points, Nat. That I will agree with. 1-800-848-9222. We'll continue after the break.
You're listening to The Rita Cosby Show.
Expedia and Visit Scotland invite you to come step into centuries of history that await in Scotland. Castles steeped in legend, walk along cobblestone streets. Come share the warmth of stories passed down through generations. This is a place with a past that is fully present today and all yours to explore. Plan your Scottish escape today at expedia.com/Visit Scotland.
Adobe Firefly is the all-in-one creative studio with AI-powered image and video editing for today's creative process. Built for creators of every kind, Firefly helps you generate, edit, and experiment fast. Because the asks aren't getting smaller, the budgets aren't getting bigger, and the timelines, still tight. With all the best creative AI models in one place, Firefly brings your ideas to life. Unlock a better way to make with Adobe Firefly.
I wrote a little song to remind you, Choice Hotels get you more of the experiences you value. The Cambria Hotel's got it all. A rooftop bar, have a ball. Bring a date, your squad, or even your mom. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
When you have 4 new tires, every drive feels fresh. Right now, buy 3 select tires and get 1 for just $1 during the Buick Certified Service Fresh Start Tire event. Visit Buick.com/service offers or see dealer for full details. At participating U.S. GM dealers only, highest or equal value tire will be $1. Offer ends May 31st, 2026. Not available with other offers.
The Rita Cosby Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This is The Rita Cosby Show.
And coming up on The Rita Cosby Show, we will continue to take your calls. I love hearing from all of you guys, especially here on a Friday night. And also, we'll get an update on the L.I.R.R, the Long Island Railroad. There may be a massive strike that may start in about half an hour, crippling hundreds of thousands of commuters. We'll give you an update on that and so much more. That is coming up on The Rita Cosby Show. A very busy Friday night. It's never boring here. That is for sure.
The Rita Cosby Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Rita Cosby is on. Breaking news.
And everybody wondering, will there be a strike on the Long Island Railroad? It is a massive railroad system with about 300 to 400,000 commuters. And joining us now here on the Rita Cosby Show is John Samuelson. He is the international president of the Transport Workers Union. And John, it's great to talk with you. I know we talked earlier, you, me, and John, about what could happen. Now the clock is ticking, right? I mean, the deadline is 12:01 Eastern time, so we're looking at less than half an hour. What's the latest?
Every indicator right now says that there's an extremely likely chance of a strike. That's the latest. That's the latest that I'm aware of. So it's still possible that something could happen in 20 minutes or so, but it's obviously becoming more doubtful every moment that goes by. And this was a totally avoidable situation. It's a shame that it's going to unfold this way.
Wow. So talk about the big issues that are at hand that created this moment. Obviously, I think there was salaries was one of the issues. Talk about what some of the workers wanted that was sort of the heart of this strike.
So so my brothers and sisters on the Long Island Railroad, these are not Transport Workers Union members, but we're deeply involved in this strike, and we deeply want the Long Island Railroad workforce to succeed in this contract bargaining. And the problems here are all economic. A presidential emergency board 2 times established panels of independent arbitrators that recommended a 4-year contract settlement for the Long Island Railroad workers. This is very normal, and yet the governor of New York State rejected it, which is not normal. So Governor Hochul rejected the findings of federal arbitration panels and has now chosen to provoke a strike. It's all over economics. It's Governor Hochul trying to undercut the findings of two panels of esteemed arbitrators.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think she is undercutting the panel's decisions?
I think, first of all, I think she's anti-trade union. I think there's a lot of evidence for that. Just even recently scabbing the New York City nurses strike. I don't think she views blue-collar workers as having value. And from a mathematics angle, Kathy Hochul is about to bargain with 40,000 New York City transit workers. The contract expires tomorrow at midnight rather than tonight at midnight. And she believes that if the Long Island Railroad workers succeed in getting
a 4% raise or a 4.5% raise, that local 100 New York City transit workers will then get that raise. And of course, we're in an age of affordability, and this is appropriate. And what's going on is the governor of New York City keeps talking about affordability as she tries to drive down wages for workers. It's hypocritical.
Yeah, that is. That's a really interesting situation. Now, talk about what does this mean for how many commuters, John? I mean, this is going to be a massive strike if this were to happen, in 20 minutes or so. It's several 100,000 commuters, right? This is a massive infrastructure. Massive infrastructure.
It's the biggest commuter railroad in the country, and perhaps the biggest commuter railroad in the world. And not only that, it's gonna have a negative impact on New York City transit riders. The MTA has a plan in place, and whether they succeed in doing that or not is yet to be seen. But their plan is to get displaced Long Island Railroad riders to New York City transit terminals in Queens, but both on the bus side and the subway side. So a New York City transit system, both subway and buses, that is already overwhelmed, is now going to be exponentially overwhelmed if the MTA succeeds in their plan.
Wow. Well, I am so grateful that you called in, John Samuelson. Good luck, of course, to all the workers. Good luck to the commuters, too. Let's see what happens here. Maybe some deal will be struck. A lot of times it's this 11th hour situation. But who knows, when they realize, obviously, the devastating impact it's going to have on commuters. Who knows? Maybe they'll come to the table, right? We'll see, right? But if not, listen, we are praying, of course, for the great workers. We're praying for the commuters, and let's just hope this works out good for everybody, right?
We hope so. If the workers go, Governor Kathy Hochul caused it. It's my final word.
Well, that's a powerful message, and you look at the timing too of what you just shared. Boy, you got to keep us posted too, John. If you hear of anything, especially in the next few minutes, please give us a call back if you could.
20 minutes to go. I'll call you right away if I hear anything.
Thank you, John. I really appreciate it. John Samuelson, who is the international president of the Transport Workers Union, the massive Transport Workers Union. Literally around the globe. And of course, also represents the local union too as well. So he's got a very, very busy job. John, thank you very, very much. And pray for New York. As John was just saying to everybody, it is the biggest railroad in the country and maybe the biggest in the world. So this is enormous if indeed there is a strike in a matter of moments. We'll keep you posted, guys. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. And of course, we are talking about Zoran Mondani. We are also talking about Russia, China, and anything else you feel like. It's a Friday night here on The Rita Cosby Show. So let's go to Sandra in New Jersey. Line 1. Go ahead, Sandra.
I always have something different, but it's not really different. It's actually about anti-Semitism and King Charles III. He went to an area in England called Golders Green. He went to pay his respects to a man who was stabbed by someone who didn't like him because he was Jewish. So this was anti-Semitism, and this king went out of his way to see him personally in the hospital and pay his respects.
Now, was this recently? By the way, Sandra, was this?
This just happened.
Oh, so you know what? I wonder, this is interesting. I don't know if this is the same. Was this one of the Jewish guys who was stabbed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to hear an interesting coincidence that you bring that up? Because this guy that was busted today with the ties to Hezbollah and the IRGC, the one in that massive plot, they say that his group was behind all of these recent attacks, the one in Belgium and the big stabbing in London. So it's all very cool. I mean, just totally, obviously coincidentally, but that was such a huge, high profile case when that madman went around stabbing people in London. And how beautiful that King Charles went and visited one of the victims. That speaks so well of King Charles.
Yeah, I mean, he showed his beautiful charm here, and he carries it at home. He's genuine. He's really, really a great person. So, maybe Mamdani could learn something from seeing a leader like that, and maybe, try to copy something nice for a change.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I told you what he was doing tonight, going out and posting this stuff that was very sort of anti-Semitic again tonight. And a lot of people saying, where is this guy going? And you've got all these rise of anti-Semitic attacks. And he still refuses to, he seems to think, at least, when it comes down to the protests, he calls them, even if we call them riots, he calls them peaceful protests. And then he goes and bashes Israel. How much do you think his rhetoric is inspiring or emboldening at least some of these protesters?
Wow.
What do you think, Sandra?
I just want to. I think. What do you? I think that. What do you mean? What do I think?
Do you believe he's emboldening? I do. I think he's emboldening at least the protesters. They certainly feel like they're okay to be out there.
I think the fact that he's not, he's not going to do the Israeli parade, that to me is signaling to the people, continue what you're doing. I'm on your side. It's clearly showing that he supports what's going on. He doesn't want to show any sign that he likes the Jewish people. He wants this stuff to happen. And I think that very much. It's very scary, sad, and I hope something happens where he loses his job and we get somebody better, somebody qualified. This man's not qualified, and I'm concerned that he's so in love with that charming wife. I think probably every night, like I say, when they're lying in bed, they probably laugh at what's going on. They probably love it. It's so sad and sickening, But don't get me started on that, because I'm becoming very angry at all this,
Yeah, we don't want you angry. We don't want you angry, but we do want people who speak up and want everybody to come together and appreciate each other and not try to divide. And when I sit there and I see what's going on with some of the comments, they are, I agree with you, just incredibly divisive and incredibly disheartening. By the way, I wanted to play this for you guys also. Sandra, thank you very much. Congressman Brad Knott, this was a powerful comment. They had hearings this week on Capitol Hill about illegal criminal migrants and also sanctuary cities. And there's been a big attention about sanctuary cities and cracking down on sanctuary cities, these cities which are protecting illegal criminal migrants, and it seems like at all costs. And boy, some of the hearings on Capitol Hill were downright fiery. You got to hear, this is Congressman Brad Knott, Republican of North Carolina, and he really went after the district attorney from Virginia, talking about his past policies, which seem to go easier on illegal criminal migrants and seem to be coddling those individuals at the expense of American citizens. And boy, did he give a powerful example. Take a listen.
When you entered into a plea agreement, you tried to bind the court so they could not sentence this person to any term over 2 years. Is that not correct?
Sir, I'm so glad you brought this case up.
Is that not correct?
Well, because I would like to explain, sir.
It is correct. And the court rejected it.
Sir, I know the case file.
It was a judge that was appointed by Senator Warner. This is not a right-wing judge. This is a liberal judge. And you know why he rejected it?
Sir,
he saw what you should have seen.
He
cited overwhelming evidence.
So can we talk about the evidence,
this person was a threat.
I know it and you don't.
Quit talking.
And I would love to tell you about it.
This person was a threat. He yanked a 4-year-old girl out of her bed with the intent to harm her. And you wanted to give her a cap of 2 years.
Sir, this is
a great example. And then when the plea agreement was rejected, what did you do?
Sir, this is a great example.
What did you do?
This is a great example of a case.
I prosecuted. I prosecuted cases.
And then you understand.
And when you're evading like that, you know what that's a sign of? Guilt. What did you do?
Sir,
you dismissed the case.
Wow. And then listen to Congressman Jeff Van Drew. Boy, did he tear into that. Also, Commonwealth Attorney Steve Descano.
Mr. Descano, simple question.
Are American communities safer when illegal immigrants who commit crimes are deported or when they remain in those communities? Are they safer when they're deported communities? Yes or no? Just yes or no?
Well, sir, that's not...
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Sir?
I'm asking the question.
And I'm trying to answer them.
No, you
asked me a question that's outside of my purview.
Jim Jordan down there asked you questions. You're a human being. You're sitting next to a woman who lost her daughter. Can you tell me if illegal criminals are to be moved from the country if we're safer?
And to suggest that I don't care about what happens in my community.
This is my
time. I go to work every day.
You are going to answer my
to protect my community.
You are going to answer my questions. You don't show any discipline. When I'm asked questions, I answer them. So you're not willing to answer that question. Okay. So I ask you this question. Let's talk about Abdul Jalal. Yes or no, would Stephanie Minter be alive today if he had been deported? And you know why he wasn't deported? Because then, quite frankly, the administration was not as aggressive, and if a country didn't want to accept these awful people that came from the country, we didn't know where to send them, and we held them and we detained them. Now we're finding places to send them so that this doesn't go on. That's the answer. That's why that happened. It's not a mystery. It's not something weird or unusual. They didn't know where the heck to put it. Now we just do it, and we get it done. But nevertheless, would we be safer if he wasn't in the country then? Would we be safer, yes or no?
Sir,
yes or no, or to be safer if the man wasn't in the country? Damn it, answer my question.
Sir, I'm trying. You keep changing the question.
No, it's yes or no. There's a bad guy that murders people.
Certainly,
are we safer that he's not in the country?
If somebody is...
Nope, you can't answer the question. I'm sorry. I'll ask you this. Explain to the lady next to you. Abdul Jalal was charged in your county more than 40 times, not 4 times, 40 times. Your office dropped the charges in almost every single case. That's fact. We have it documented. We can look at it. Your own Fairfax County Police Department wrote your office. We have it. It's fact. May 2025.
The Rita Cosby Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The best summer memories are made outside, and LL Bean has the clothing and gear you need to make these memories. Their effortless styles are created for summer spent outside with family and friends. Like hand-sewn boat shoes, coastal cotton sweaters, rugged polos, and, of course, the iconic Boatin' Tote, which has been made right here in Maine since 1944. LL Bean. Be an outsider. Visit llbean.com to learn more.
It's the Rita Cosby Show.
And let's go to Stan on line 5. Stan, your thoughts tonight, my friend.
The meeting in China was a total nothing. Nothing happened. Nothing was dissolved. They both
I knew
walked
you would
away
say that,
laughing at
Stan.
each other.
Come on, that's ridiculous.
Nothing was signed. There is nothing. Nothing. What was the count?
All right, Stan. So wait. Do you understand how diplomacy works? You don't sit there and sign papers. You have a good discussion. You go back, you formulate it. And I would say buying 200 jets from Boeing, I would consider that a pretty good deal. And the fact that he got the red carpet treatment, and look, if China can maybe help somehow with Iran, it sounds like they're offering to do that. Well, then, for all of those reasons, that's a good thing. Whatever you think, Stan, I know you got Trump derangement syndrome. And everybody pray for Long Island Railroad commuters. It looks like a strike is about to happen on the biggest railroad in the country, maybe the biggest in the world. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thanks for listening to The Rita Cosby Show. You can hear The Rita Cosby Show weeknights at 10 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?